Here's The Wire, Season 5, Episode 10, Title 30, Season Finale of Season 5, the series finale, and of probably one of the greatest television shows of all time. I'm doing this podcast in 2013. There might be a better show that comes down the pipeline. Who knows? All I got to say before I start this is that Emmys, calling the Emmys, anybody calling the Emmys, how did you not nominate this show or beat this show win for best TV show of the TV season? Not the first year, not the second year, not the third year, not the fourth year, not the 5 year. Calling all Emmys, calling all Emmys. How this show did not win an Emmy is a travesty. But know what? You know it's not a travesty. It just tells you how bullshit and how much nonsense the award shows are. You know what? The argument is that, yeah, maybe award shows are good because it forces people to watch like certain movies or television shows that they wouldn't normally watch themselves because it wins something, they'll watch it. But come on. How you didn't nominate the show for The Wire is just the most ridiculous thing in the world. Okay, and the thesis of what they're trying to say with The Wire. The system is broken. That's what they're trying to say, and what they're trying to say is the wrong people are in charge. I think that's what they're exactly trying to say. So the first episode of season 1, question: are the right people in charge in a big city in the United States? The answer: no. And basically, the question is that there's raised is that why aren't the right people in charge? Because the people who want to be in charge, the people at the top, are the overly ambitious people, the sketchy. Sometimes, I'm not saying they're all sketchy. The win at all cost people are in charge because that personality, that type A personality that some of us have, basically trump the others who are basically just happy to basically share the wealth and be content with the job they do. The ones who really want it, the overly ambitious, are the ones who are in charge. But the thing is, though, that personality doesn't make you for the best governor because it's the old cliche, and I hate to be that simple, but when basically someone who's working 100 hours a week and basically working like a madman sees someone else working 35, 40 hours a week and go, how can I look at this person and respect this person? Why don't they want it like I do? And basically, it's hard to basically empathize with somebody who is not as ambitious as you. That's sort of what the problem is, but that's first of many things. So that's a simple kind of point. The noble ones, the Daniels and etc., but Daniels is probably the most noble character of the whole series, is the one who plays it out, plays the game, but in the end he's not at the top. So how much control can you really have? And the thing with Daniels is that in order to get to the top, he wants to rig the stats, and Daniels is like, I'm not going to rig the stats. I'm going to do it the right way or no way at all. And that's sort of the analogy. That's the allegory where Daniels needs to be in charge because he can really do a lot of change for the good, but he won't be in charge because he won't play their game because the people at the top want to play their game. And basically, it's the lies and that kind of corruption that goes all the way downhill. It's an old Republican saying where like blue collar crime is the worst crime and basically white collar crime's not that bad. Well, you know what? White collar crime like that, corruption at the top, it's a ball of shit. It rolls downhill, and it actually causes blue collar crime to happen. And that's sort of another thesis statement they're trying to say, is that if it wasn't for the corruption at the top, all this burning and all this corruption and all this murder that going on in the poor neighborhoods, quote unquote, wouldn't happen if they actually take care of some of the things themselves. So while they judge others and certain cultures and poor people, it's their fault for why that culture has happened in the first place. And the problem is though, like in a society like this, the poor get the worst of all, and that's the problem. When you saw it in season 4, you saw it in other seasons where there's really no hope for most of these characters, so they don't care anymore. So then corruption of their own kind and like stealing and doing drugs and dealing drugs is not a big deal to them because they're already lost soul. They already know that the life's not that fair. It's like basically their feeling is that they're on a chessboard and the person across from them has got all queens and they have all pawns. It's an unfair game. They don't care anymore. Major thesis statement. So basically what the problem is that we're domesticated in our culture. We basically can't change that fast because even though if we know the system is broken, say all of a sudden we call attention the system is broken. We live in a giant freight train. So basically the giant freight train takes 3 miles for it to stop. And that's the problem. So then when a major shitstorm happens, like something like a economic fall or the housing industry falling, whatever you want to call it, it takes years for that thing to right itself back up. Because when you see the shitstorm, when you see the bridge not being built ahead of you, a mile ahead of you, you will fall over that bridge because, one, you don't know the information because the system is broken that the bridge has fallen in the first place. So you wait too long for basically the stop, and then it's too late and you fall over. That's the AI #1 problem with our society, and that's what they're trying to say. Greatest TV show ever, probably. I love someone to top this. All kinds of great characters, all kinds of, like, the show lives on for years and years and years because even though it's set in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, its themes and it's what it's trying to say still hold to today's, and even 50 years from now people will be watching this show. That's my review.